Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. In this Nour Quran reflection series, we try to develop a connection with the Quran. And this is part B of quarter 28 of the Quran. And in part B, we'll go over the word roots and the translation. So again, this is quarter number 28 of the Quran, the 8th quarter of Surah Al Imran, and that's 3/4 of Hizb 7. And it starts with أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إذ تصعدون. Remember when you fled and climbed the mountain without looking aside at anyone while the messenger was calling you from behind. So Allah repaid you with distress upon distress, so you would not grieve for that which had escaped you of victory and spoils of war, or for that which had befallen you. And Allah is fully acquainted of what you do. إِذْ تُصْعِدُونَ from صَعَدَ means to flee, or so صَعَدَ is to climb. وَلَا تَلْوُونَ without looking aside, على أحد over someone, over anyone. So أحد is anyone. والرسول from رسل means to send, so it means the messenger. يدعوكم from دعية means to call you. He called you. في أخراكم from أخرى means calling you from behind. فأثابكم from ثوب, which means to repay you. غما بغم, غم from غمم, it means distress. لكيلا, so that you would not be. تحزنوا from حزن, that's grieve. على ما فاتكم from فوت means what had escaped you, what you missed, what you lost. ولا ما أصابكم from صوب or صيب means what has struck you, so what has befallen you. والله خبير from خبر means he's acquainted, to know, so he is acquainted. بما تعملون from عمل means what you do. Then after distress, he sent down upon you security in the form of drowsiness, overcoming a faction of you. So ثم أنزل from نزل means to send down, عليكم upon you, من بعد after, الغم from غمم, that's distress, أمنة from أمنة, that's security, نعاسا from نعسة, that's drowsiness or sleep, يغشى from غشية means to overcome, طائفة, that's a faction or a group from طائفة or طائفة, منكم from among you. While another faction worried about themselves, thinking of Allah other than the truth, the thought of ignorance. Well, طائفة, that means a faction or another group. قد أهمتهم from همم means to be worried. أنفسهم, so they're worried only about themselves. يظنون from ظننا means to think. بالله, of Allah, غير, other than, الحق, the truth, from حقق. ظن from ظننا means the thought of. الجاهلية, جاهلية from جهل means ignorance. Saying, is there anything for us to have done in this matter? Say, indeed the matter belongs completely to Allah. يقولون from قول, they said or they say. هل لنا, هل is a word, a question word for a yes or no question. لنا, to us. من الأمر, from the matter, from أمر from أمر, the matter. من شيء, anything. شيء is anything, any part of it. قل إن, say, indeed, الأمر, the matter. كله, قل إن الأمر كله means all of it. لله, all of it belongs to Allah. They conceal within themselves what they will not reveal to you. They say, if there was anything we could have done in the matter, we, or some of us, would not have been killed right here. يخفون from خفية means to hide or conceal. في أنفسهم, in themselves. ما لا, what they do not. يبدون from بداية, to show. They do not show to you. لك, to you. يقولون, they say, from قول, لو كان, if there had been, لنا, to us, من الأمر, from the matter, من الأمر شيء, anything, ما قتلنا from قتل, that's the passive form of kill, means we would not have been killed. ها هنا, ها هنا means here, right here. Say, even if you had been inside your houses, those decreed to be killed would have come out to their deathbeds. قل, say, لو, if, كنتم, if you had been, في بيوتكم from بيتا, that's your houses. لبرز from برز means to come out. الذين كتب, كتب means has been written. عليهم has been written upon them. القتل from قتل means killed. إلى مضاجعهم. مضاجعهم from ضجع is to sleep, and مضاجع is the plural of مضجع, and that's the place of sleep. So it just means the deathbeds. It was so that Allah might test what is in your chests and purify what is in your hearts, and Allah is knowing of that within the chests. وَلِيَبْتَلِيَ from balaya means to test. Allah, ما في صدوركم, what is in your صدور. صدور is the plural of صدر, and صدر is the chest. وَلْيُمَحِّصَ from محص means to purify. ما في, what is in قلوبكم from قلب means your hearts. Wallahu alim from alima, Allah is knowing of that within the chest. So alim from alima means to know of that within as-sudur, that's the chests. Indeed, those of you who turned back on the day the two armies met at Uhud, it was shaitan who caused them to slip because of some blame they had earned. But Allah has already forgiven them. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and forbearing. Inna alladhina, indeed those, tawallaw from waliya means to turn back, minkum from among you. Yawma, the day, iltaqa from laqiya is to meet. So when the two armies met, al-jam'an, jama'a is a gathering. So jam' means a gathering of people. And that's jam'an, that means two gatherings or two groups. The two armies met. Innama, indeed, istazallahum from zalala. Zalala is to slip, and istazalla means it caused them to slip. So shaitan caused them to slip. Biba'di, because of some. Ma kasabu, from kasaba means to earn. Walaqad afa from afawa. Afawa means to forgive. Walaqad afa Allahu anhum, Allah has forgiven them. Inna Allah, indeed Allah is ghafur from ghafara means forgiving, and halim from halima, and that's the word root for gentleness, means forbearing. O you who have believed, do not be like those who disbelieved and said about their brothers when they traveled through the land or went out to fight, if they had been with us, they would not have died or have been killed. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who have believed, la takunu, do not be kalladhina, like those kafaru from kafara, those who disbelieved, وقالوا, and they said from qawala لإخوانهم, so ikhwan is the plural of akh, and that's their brothers. إذا ضربوا, ضرب means to strike, which means that here it means to travel through the land. في الأرض ضربوا في الأرض, to travel through the land. Or went out to fight. أو كانوا غزا means to go out to fight. لو كانوا عندنا, if they had been with us. ما ماتوا, they would not have died from mawata. وما قتلوا, or they would not have been killed from qatala. So Allah makes that misconception a regret within their hearts, and it is Allah who gives life and causes death, and Allah is seeing of what you do. لِيَجَعَلَ from ja'ala means Allah causes or makes that. ذَلِكَ means that, which means this misconception. حَسْرَ from hasara means a regret. في قلوبهم from qalaba, that's their hearts. والله يحيي from حيايا means he gives life. ويميت from mawata, he causes death. والله بما تعملون, of what you do, from عمل is بصير, from basara means he's seeing. And if you are killed in the cause of Allah or die, then forgiveness from Allah and mercy are better than whatever they accumulate in this world. ولئن قتلتم from قتل means to be killed. في سبيلي, so sabil is the cause, means the path. So it means here in the cause of Allah. أو متم from mawata, or you die. لمغفرة from غفرة means forgiveness. من الله from Allah. ورحمة from rahima means mercy. خير are better from خيرة. مما يجمعون from جمع means to gather or to collect. So it's better than whatever they accumulate in this world. And whether you die or are killed, unto Allah you will be gathered. وَلَئِن مُتُّمْ from mawata means whether you die, أو قُتِلْتُمْ from qatala, or you are killed. لَإِلَى اللَّهِ, indeed it is unto Allah. تُحْشَرُونَ from hashara means to be gathered. So by mercy from Allah, O Muhammad, you were lenient with them. فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ from rahima, by mercy from Allah, linta from lana or layana means to be lenient, lahum, with them. And if you had been rude in speech and harsh in heart, they would have disbanded from about you. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ, if you had been, فَضًّا from فَضَّ means to be rude, غَلِيظًا from غَلَظًا means harsh or hard, القلب from قلب, that's the heart, لَنْفَضُّ from فَضَضَ means to leave you, to disband from about you, min حولك, from about you, from around you. So pardon them and ask forgiveness for them and consult them in the matter. فَعْفُ عَنْهُمْ from عَفَوَ means forgive them. وَاسْتَغْفِرْ from غَفَرَ means ask or seek forgiveness for them, or ask for forgiveness, make dua for them, ask for forgiveness for them. وَشَاوِرْهُمْ from shawara means to consult them. فِي الْأَمْرِ in the matter. And when you have decided, then rely upon Allah. Indeed, Allah loves those who rely upon Him. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ from عَزِمَ or عَزَمَ means to decide. فَتَوَكَّل from wakala means to rely on Allah. So wakala means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking care of that matter for us, for all of our matters. So فَتَوَكَّل means that you put that trust in Allah and rely on Him. فَتَوَكَّل عَلَى Allah means rely on Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ from hababa, He loves al-mutawakkilin from wakala, those who rely upon Him. If Allah should aid you, no one can overcome you. But if He should forsake you, who is there that can aid you after Him? And upon Allah let the believers rely. إِن يَنصُرْكُمْ from nasara means to aid you, or to give you nasr, to give you victory. فَلَا غَالِبَ from غَلَبَ, no one can overcome you, to defeat you or to overcome you. لَكُمْ to you. وَإِن يَخْذُلْكُمْ from خَذَلَ means to forsake you, or to abandon you. فَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي who is it that يَنصُرُكُمْ from نَصَرَ, who will give you aid after him, من بعد, after him. And again, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ upon Allah فَلْيَتَوَكَّلْ should rely الْمُؤْمِنُونَ the believers. It is not to any prophet that he would act unfaithfully in regard to war beauty. وَمَا كَانَ لِنَبِيٍّ from نَبَوَ, that's a prophet, أَن يَغُلْ from غَلَلَ. And whoever betrays will come with what he took on the day of resurrection. وَمَنْ يَغْلُلْ, again, same word, غَلَلَ يَأْتي from أَتَيَ means will come, بِمَا غَلَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ on the day of resurrection. ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى then will every soul be fully compensated for what it earned, and they will not be wronged. So tuwaffa from wafaya means to be fully compensated. كُلُّ نَفْس every soul. مَا كَسَبَت from kasaba what it earned. وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ they will not be wronged from ظَلَمَ. So is one who pursues the pleasure of Allah like one who brings upon himself the anger of Allah, and whose refuge is hell, and wretched is the destination. فَمَنِ اتَّبَعَ from taba'a means to follow or pursue. رِضْوَانَ is from radiya, and that's the word root for pleasure. And ridwan is only used for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not people. كَمَنْ بَاءَ so كَمَنْ بَاءَ means like someone who brings upon himself بِسَخَط. Sakhat is anger. مِنَ اللَّهِ سَخَط مِنَ اللَّهِ means anger from Allah. وَمَأْوَاهُ from awiya, that's refuge. Jahannam, that's hell. And wretched, وَبِئْسَ means wretched is the masir from sayara, and that's the destination. They are varying degrees in the sight of Allah, and Allah is seeing of whatever they do. Hum darajat, hum means they, and darajat from daraja means degrees. عند Allah, in the sight of Allah. Wallahu basirun from basara means He is seeing, that's the word for sight. Bima ya'malun from amila, of whatever they do. Certainly did Allah confer great favor upon the believers when He sent among them a messenger from themselves. لَقَدْ مَنَّ from manana. Manana is to confer favor or bestow favor. Allah وعلى المؤمنين upon the believers. إِذْ بَعَثَ, so ba'atha is the word root for send. like أرسل means بعث, means sent. فيهم رسولا, from رسل, that's a messenger, من أنفسهم, from among themselves, reciting to them his verses and purifying them and teaching them the book, which is the Quran, and wisdom, although they had been before in manifest error. يتلو, to recite upon them آياته, his verses, ويزكيهم, from zakaya, means to purify them, ويعلمهم, from alima, means to teach them, الكتاب, from kataba, that's the book, والحكمة, from hakama, that's the wisdom, وإن كانوا, although they had been من قبل, before, لفي, indeed in, ضلال, from ضلال, that's error, and mubin, from bayana, that's manifest or clear. Why is it that when a single disaster struck you on the day of Uhud, although you had struck the enemy in the battle of Badr with one twice as great, you said, from where is this? أَوَلَمَّا, why is it that when that happened, أَصَابَتْكُمْ, from صَيَبَ, means to strike or to hit. مُصِيبَة, that's مُصِيبَة is the word, same word root as أصابة. قَدْ أَصَبْتُمْ, again same word root, that you struck with one that is twice as great. مثليها, that's the means from like twice as great. مثل is the same. مثلين would be two, twice as great. قلتم, you said, أن هذا, why, from where is this? أن means from where is this? قل هو, say it is from yourselves. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. Say it is من عند أنفسكم, from yourselves. إن الله, indeed Allah, على كل شيء, is over all things. قدير, from قدر, means competent. And what struck you on the day the two armies met at Uhud was by permission of Allah, that He might make evident the true believers. وَمَا أَصَابَكُمْ, from صَيَبَ, again what had struck you, اليوم, on the day of, التقى, from لقيا, means to meet, الجمعان, the two gatherings, the two groups, فبإذن الله, from أذن, by permission of Allah. وَلِيَعْلَمَ, from علم, means to know, which means here to make evident, الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, to make evident the true believers. And that He might make evident those who are hypocrites. For it was said to them, come fight in the way of Allah, or at least defend. وَلِيَعْلَمَ, which means again to make evident, الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا, from nafaqa, means those who were hypocrites. وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ, it was said to them, from قَوَلَ, تَعَالَوْا, which means come, قَاتِلُوا, which means fight, from قَتَلَ, the word root قَتَلَ means قَاتِل, means fight, فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, in the cause of Allah, in the path of Allah, أَوِ دَفَعُوا, from دَفَعَ, دَفَعَ is to push back, which means to defend. They said, if we had known there would be fighting, we would have followed you. قالوا, they said, لو نعلم, if we had known, from علم, قتالا, from قتل again, if we had known there was fight, لاتبعناكم, from تبع, means we would have followed you. They were nearer to disbelief that day than to faith, saying with their mouths what was not in their hearts. هم للكفر, they are to disbelief, للكفر, to disbelief, يومئذ, on that day, أقرب, from قرب, means closer or nearer, منهم للإيمان, they were closer to that than they were closer to iman, which is faith, from amana. يقولون, they say, from قول, بأفواههم, that means their mouths, ما ليس, what is not in their قلوبهم, in their hearts. And Allah is most knowing of what they conceal. Wallahu a'lamu, from alima, He's most knowing, bima yaktumun, from katama, which means to conceal or to hide. Those who said about their brothers while sitting at home, if they had obeyed us, they would not have been killed. Say, then prevent death from yourselves if you should be truthful. الذين قالوا, those who said, لإخوانهم, to their brothers, وقعدوا, from قعد means to sit at home, لو أطاعونا, if they had طوع, means أطاعونا, from طوع, means to obey. If they had obeyed us, ما قتلوا, they would not have been killed. قل, say, فدرأوا, from درأ, means to prevent, عن أنفسكم. So درأ is to defend oneself, so to push that thing away. فدرأوا عن أنفسكم, if you can prevent death from happening to you. عن أنفسكم, upon you, from you, الموت, death, إن كنتم صادقين, if you are truly صادقين. From صدقة means truthful. And never think of those who have been killed in the cause of Allah as dead. Rather, they are alive with their Lord, receiving provision. وَلَا تَحْسَبَنَّ, do not think, from حَسِبَ, do not think, الَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا, those who were killed, في سبيل الله, in the cause of Allah, أَمْوَاتًا, from مَوَتَ means dead, بَلْ أَحْيَاء, indeed they are, rather they are أحياء, from حَيَيَ means they are alive, عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ, with their Lord, يُرْزَقُونَ, from رَزَقَ, they receive provision, rejoicing in what Allah has bestowed upon them of His bounty, and they receive good tidings about those to be martyred after them who have not yet joined them, that there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. فَرِحِينَ, from فَرَحَ means to rejoice, بِمَا آتَاهُمْ, of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them, from أَتَيَ, مِن فَضْلِ, from فضل, and that's from His bounty. وَيَسْتَبْشِرُونَ, from بَشَرَ, means to receive good tidings. بِالَّذِينَ, of those, لَمْ يَلْحَقُوا, from لَحِقَ, لَحِقَ is to join, so those who have not yet joined them, لَمْ يَلْحَقُوا بِهِمْ مِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ, from after them, from after them. أَلَّا خَوْفٌ, from خَوَفَ, that means no fear, لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ, no fear concerning them, وَلَا هُمْ, and they will not, يَحْزَنُونَ, from حَزِنَ, they will not grieve.